All worship the King, all glorious above. Joy to the world, the Lord is come. Let earth receive her King. Hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come on earth, as it has been in heaven, but will no longer be in heaven because it's coming to earth. So, King's you, sorry about hair day, but maybe part of the plan because I don't want you to fall in love with me. Well, I don't lie either, but I hope you see what I'm saying. I just want to know you, like, hopefully you know me. I'm not hiding even my what wouldn't be habits that are bad to you, maybe sinful to you, but I'm cool with it with my King, so it depends how you think. So, I'm the professor here at King U, and taking on J. Dyer's Orthdoxy. So, Mr. J. Dyer, since I've never heard your techno songs that you introduce your song with, never want to do any of these high-tech synthesized versions of Joy to the World, the Lord has come, or any of these things, as your King is not my King? Is that what you're saying? I don't quite understand. And how deeply are you tied to Trump and the gold coin plan with the swords and the vax to behead us as we break the anti-Semite LGBTQ laws that Biden now pushes through? And are you still pushing that red bill, blue pill, great reset bullshit? And oh, Mr. J. Dyer, since you are so good with Orthodoxy and how it's the only true church, are you also teaching about how Philippians 2 comes true, where all knees will bow on earth, not hell? Or where does Orthodoxy not go over that part? Because you're in your little box of protected ones with that Orthodox heart? And is that Orthodox heart like those Pharisees who Jesus said, unless your righteousness exceeds them, you have no part in the kingdom? So does that line up with all the UFO shows that you're showing because you're hoping to get to one of those planetas like Mitt Romney hopes to do with his Mormon idea that his doctrines will make him rule one of the planets? Same greedy one that Alex Jones is caught up in, because that Alex Jones, is he Orthodox? Because he's been praying to Jesus, at least so he says, but is that Jesus the same one that's on the Jesus Christ show on the radio that never wants to talk about a king, but he loves LGBTQ rights? Is that what all this is about? Are you into that LGBTQ movement undercover there, Mr. J. Dyer? And what is your connection to the gold coins? Are you into, like, the idea that, is it orthodox to believe that there's a chosen race of people that will, like, get rid of the beasts? And are you, like, thinking that somehow you escaped that? Or how does that work? Or are you part of the Remnant 7 part because you're Orthodox? Is that what it is? Because you're self-righteous? Is that... Wait a minute. What is that one verse that says, don't let anybody teach when they're too young? Because then they can get too much like a know-it-all and like blaspheme like Lucifer. But yeah, you keep going on and on with your Orthodoxy, but when you get stuck, you bring in one of the older ones that's more wise than he. So please, Mr. Dyer, do tell where you and your wife really are in Revelation 2, because most of the church gets chaffed away because they're so faked beast-marked hearts like Antichrist movement that has no king or king coming, but they've got plenty of UFOs. And maybe that's part of that cold blood planet stuff where the vax is forced and all these things. I don't really know, but you seem to be really good at talking about it all, about how you've studied. What did you study again? You studied the movies. The MK. Oh, the MK Ultra. Are you part of the church beat? The 503 Synagogue de Satan movement? Where they're all sworn to a prince and already zombies at heart, and they're just trying to hypnotize the other ones so they won't know the movies are coming true, like those who believe in rapture are going and beam me up, Scotty, Star Trek show. And what Orthodox box is yours that's going where? Because if you never talk about 1 Corinthians 3 and that judgment king we all will see, well, his bema might not go too good for you if you're trying to become a pillar that's going to dry out for 1,000 years, because the 7 seas will fill with those liars if you don't, wake up and come out from that hole de Babylonia, which you seem to be really stuck with. Because, wow, some of those reptilian looks from that woman of yours. I don't know if she's Jezzy or what is her name. But, wow, she can give a look. You can see why she hides her eyes in your little chat. But maybe the movie you should go over is X-Men, because you're trying to live it for real with Alex Jones. Where is he? Is he got the gold coins and he's going to turn into... What will he turn into? Oh, boy, this could be quite the exciting show. Please do tell us which one is going to be yours, because if you don't get off that Orthodox box, well, you might be in it for 1,000 years, but you won't be on the kingdom with the king for 1,000 years, with the golden rule coming true and Santa Claus being the true story all along. But you don't want to talk about these things. You got your own little latest books. Maybe Origin was more right than you all along, because I read some of his and it wasn't that bad, actually. Just kind of like, dude, you don't need to sleep on a bare floor to be saved. These were merciful than that. Like how I smoke a cigarette, but you never smoke a cigar in your wise library. But it's funny to me, you always have this scowl on your face, like you're mad, you're being attacked. Well, maybe you are, you just don't recognize the king because he's been calling to you. But, well, you forgot that one verse in Corinthians that says, if you beware he who thinks he stands, lest he fall. Yeah, that one, because, that other one says, grieve not the Holy Spirit in whom you are sealed until the day of redemption. And that redemption day hasn't come for anybody yet. So whoever you're trying to say by orthodoxy is saved, there's one verse that proves you wrong right there. 1 Corinthians and Ephesians 4, where if you're sealed doesn't mean that you can't break that seal when all the demons of pride come in when you're young and say, you're such a know-it-all. You know everything about God and how orthodox he is. Well, didn't somebody say don't put God in a box? Well, you already did, and now you're so sold out, you're just trying to get others in that box. Well, gee, Mr. J. Dyer, don't get too comfortable, because, wow, that box could be part of the pillar scene at the beach soon. But I like these waves. I love how they come in the storm. But wow, when they turn to salt, it's going to get ugly. But if you're sold out to that Sino de Satan, like it appears that Alex is, doesn't he worship that Jesus that boils in crap that you're a fan of, and of that whole gold coin scheme where the chosen ones will behead us beasts and take over and it'll all be good because that was the kingdom to come, not a king? Because that one's been boiling in crap, so he wasn't really a king. That's why he said, hey, don't write king on there, right? They said he was king. So I guess maybe you're part of that generation. That's why you don't like the boomers. Some of those boomers came from Amish, and they can be really a pain.